I mean, with a lot of studying currently right now and looking at research papers and looking at case studies, are you seeing similar things happening in today's market where certain lenders are being desperate and they're not really educating their client and they're just willing to do whatever it takes to make a buck?
I see that with mortgage brokers, not so much with the actual lenders, just because lending guidelines became very, very strict during, the last market meltdown. It's just that a lot was put in place to keep institutions. By lenders, I mean, so there are two type of lenders. Lender is kind of like a loose term that in real estate people can use it for mortgage brokers. I'm talking about institutions. No, they have very strict guidelines that they follow, and there are a number of restrictions that were put on them. I don't see that much with lenders. However, I do see that with brokers. And again, that's where it's very important to do your homework and actually take the time to do some investigation and make sure this is very, very important for first-time home buyers that know the people you're working with. Don't go with somebody that's promising you, the moon. You have to know, you have to do ask around about the person, about if someone has dealt with them before, because people just want to get paid today. They're not going to care what the kind of situation you're getting into tomorrow. And it's not necessarily all people, but yes, I do see that till this day. So, and especially when it comes to advising people that, this is the kind of loan product you should go with, or this is the type of property you should buy. For example, when you're working with a first-time home buyer, now people, maybe it's not that common in Fresno, but other cities where they might ask for your opinion. Hey, should we buy a single family residence, or should we buy a townhouse that comes with like $400 HOA fee monthly? So that $400 they can put into their mortgage payment and actually own a single family residence, so that's where people need advice. And I see realtors just, when the market was hot, they were just convincing people to put all these, bids on condos and townhomes and all kinds of stuff, and when you're when you're making a purchase for the first time, you're not necessarily thinking about all those things because you're stressed out. That's where a real estate professional comes in, or a mortgage broker comes in and gives you their honest opinion without the bias, without thinking that whether they're gonna put that offer, if I can convince them to buy that condo or a townhome, or the advice should be unbiased, and it's very important for people to find the right people and work with them.
If somebody's looking to buy, definitely you said to interview, talk to people. What would some of the qualities you said one of the quality that I hear that stuck out is making sure that they have integrity, they're honest, and they are sincere, and also they give you information. What are some of the questions that you would say ask your lender when they're interviewing agents and lenders?
When you're talking to, for example, a mortgage person, and you're asking them, let's take like current scenario. The rates are high. I want to buy a home. We've been thinking about buying a home. Our kids, we want to send them to a certain school. We want to move into a different neighborhood. And you want to ask that person, what are the products out there? Are there any loans that are going to benefit me as a first-time home buyer compared to somebody who's buying a property for the third or the fourth time? And there definitely are. There are government backed programs where they can help you with 3.5 down payment for FHA or 3% conventional. Those payments are deferred. Sometimes you don't even have to pay them until you sell that property or refinance or cash out. So are those loan products a little bit time consuming? Yes, they are. It's going to take loan officer a little bit of more, time and research and all of it to put the file together. It's going to take them a little bit longer. So when you're talking to them, if they're just trying to sell you the quickest loan product, then you should know that this person really doesn't care about giving me the best product that's available. They just want to close a deal, and get paid. You will know when you're talking to them. Secondly, you should ask around and see how much of experience they have. There are resources right now where you can check NMLS numbers of loan officers. It's NMLS Consumer Access, where you can go and see how long they have been in the business for. You can actually see their employment history, which is a really great tool because you want to know where they're coming from, what kind of background they have had. I had somebody that was in a complete, I was dealing with someone where their loan transaction fell apart, and they were misled quite a bit. And just for my curiosity, I went on to NMLS and I looked up their license. And that's where you see their employment history, that what they did before. The person was brand new. They had only been in the industry for 6 months.
Wow.
There's no surprise they gave wrong advice. Same thing for real estate agents. You can go on to DRE's website and check how long they've been licensed for or what they did before, or just even speaking with the real estate agent. You can tell if they know their market, if they're listening to you, like the example I gave earlier. You want to buy a single family home, but your agent's telling you, no, it's okay, you should just buy a condo. Or you want a house with a bigger yard. Are they actually paying attention? That type of stuff.
Definitely.
So that's my advice to all first-time home buyers or even repeat buyers. And then secondly, it really is about that, you're getting all of your questions answered. You are going to know if you're satisfied after speaking with somebody, or you're being rushed or pressured into making a decision. Everybody should, and it's easier for me to say this than to actually, for people to do it, because I know that when you're buying a property, you're very nervous. You have planned it for quite some time. But don't be afraid, or don't be stressed out or feel like that this is what everybody does and this is what I have to do. That's where a really like a good professional agent is going to be your best friend throughout that process, making you feel confident.
Having a team is the most important thing, and I'm reverting back to a team of specialists out there, and making sure that you put together a good, solid team that can kind of help execute that for you, because there's so many moving pieces when it comes to buying a home and also doing a deal in terms of real estate financing. Having a person in your corner to help you through the whole process is huge. Regardless if it's refinancing, buying a home, having an expert advisor in terms of well educated in terms of money, market, macroeconomy, microeconomy, all that stuff to kind of educate you through the process, because everyone is saying right now, if you look on Google, if you type in real estate, you'll see all these news saying that the market is crashing, everything is going down. We're forecasted to go to a recession. I believe we've already been in a recession since last year, since interest rate went from 3% to 4%. I already knew that was it. After it hit 4%, we were in a recession period, because we were never past 4.5% for quite some time, for the last 10 plus years. So for us to see that, and that was back in 2018 when interest rate went by a quarter of a percent, went from 0 to 0.25, and I saw how the market slowed down so aggressively. And because we raised so fast so quickly, I already knew that was going to happen.